Sihle, hope you're well. So in order to answer 2.2.1, we're going to have to look at this as a way of finding out what P would have to be in order for this to be a perfect square. So what we're actually doing is completing the square. But instead of having to go all the way to completing the square, we can just look at the discriminant. So the discriminant, I hope you remember what this is. It should be in your books. Okay, so now if we're looking for the discriminant, we're going to use the method of the discriminant, which is delta discriminant is going to be b squared minus 4ac. And if we're looking for it to have equal roots, that means we're actually looking for one real root. We're just looking for one real root. So what we're actually looking for when we talk about one real root is we're looking for one number that's going to give us a perfect square in this equation that we have here. So what we can do is, if we're looking for one real root, we can equate our discriminant to 0. So we're going to have b squared minus 4ac is going to equal to 0. In this case, then, we can write it out exactly how it is. We know b is going to be 8, a is going to be -1 because it's negative x squared, and c is going to be p. So we're going to replace them in here exactly the way that we see them. So b squared is just 8 squared minus 4 multiplied by -1 for a multiplied by p for c. And all of this is going to be equal to 0. So we're going to have 64. -1 multiplied by -4 is going to give us +4. So we're going to have plus 4p is equal to 0. Then I'm going to solve for p because that's what we're looking for here. So I'm going to have 4p is equal to -64. And I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and p is going to equal to -16. So what this is going to mean for my equation is that I'm going to have -x squared plus 8x minus 16. And this is how we're going to have equal roots. Now, what I'm going to do in this case is equal to 0 is I'm going to multiply through by negative to get rid of that negative in front of x squared. So I'm going to have x squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. And if I then factorize this, it's going to equal to 0. What I'm going to get is x here, x there, -4, -4. And that shows that we've got two equal roots. We have equal roots where x is equal to 4 on both sides of this equation. So if we were going to complete the square, we were going to use -x squared plus 8x minus 16, or we can even use this one. So we're going to add -16 and then plus 16 to this 20 that we're looking at over here, to this 20, and that's going to give us 36, which makes sense because if you're looking at your graph over here, our y component over there, when we make x 0, we get 36, and that's how we use this to express our quadratic function. I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask. All right, all the best.